In an agentic world, agents should be able to run an interview with you. It means that those agents should be able to access your experience, get to know your skills, the project you've been working on, the verticals and the different experience you did on the projects, and they should be able to chat with your digital twin. Most important, we want the information to be private. We want to explain what we did and not how we solved the information to keep our uniqueness. And everything about our projects should be parsed by local models, so no information leaks outside of our system. How can we build such a knowledge graph and make sure that we provide detailed information about both our technical capabilities and management skills? Show that we can provide specification around implementation and convey at the same time a message about our soft skills and leading capabilities. First of all, I created the following YAML files describing the main areas: skills, personal profile, portfolio, and resume. Those YAML files will be the same to create the presentation websites, where all the work experiences, the projects, and the skills will be available both to humans and bots. We can then create a landing page where we show most of the skills, capabilities, and few of the selected projects. We can as well show a more detailed portfolio explaining a bit more in detail what we did during the single projects and be able to specify a bit better what was our contribution both on technical and on management side. In this way, we collected most of the information available from our projects and let the information be available to LLMs. We need to work on different levels: the hands-on technical skills on the code and some executive summaries on the projects, by tweaking the prompts to the LLMs. We want to avoid to grant access to the sources, and therefore we let local LLM models to provide an objective summary about proficiency, skills, and competencies. This way, we analyzed code, tech, blog post, thoughts, picture, science works, and videos. We list 3,300 source codes from C++ to Python to SQL, 120 blog posts, 30 project description, 2,000 images, 30 scientific works, 180 videos, and 44 resume elements. Now we launch local LLMs to parse the information source files we selected. Given the sensitivity information, we run everything locally. About intellectual property, LLM summarize the content and doesn't expose the sources. It's impartial because it's LLM judging the quality of our work. It's concise. We parse our knowledge base to build our digital twin. We have two main graphs. One is manual, the other is automated. We use the org-roam package to create the manual graph and LLMs to create the automated one. Of course, there are differences. With the manual, we have so much more control. We know exactly what we want to stress and we can go really in depth. The automated decreases the workload, but sometimes it can focus on meaningless features which we don't want to stress too much. At the beginning, we asked the LLMs to create the whole graph, but that creates a lot of inconsistencies. Then we decided to ask LLM to create links between features, then spot the nodes, and then enrich those nodes to create the whole graph. Local models, they have some methods where they can output a well-formed JSON, and using the information from the doc, I can create one link and out of the link enrich the node by ID, name and description and make a graph which contains nodes and links. We now have many different sources and we need to identify the subgraphs and build communities. We import the graph into NetworkX and we use their utilities to understand how graphs are separated. We can test as well other visualization tools. Here we have a Jupyter notebook and we can access the same database, run the notebook and then access a bit more advanced visualization. But as you can see, it's not the easiest tool to navigate. Although we can have really interesting information, it's not really readable and browsable. But the navigation is still difficult compared to our Chrome, where we can directly access all the different nodes and then retrieve the formatted information about that single node. Or we can create our custom D3.js application and then be able to customize a bit more our knowledge graph and create further customization where we can make our knowledge available and be able to focus on the most important point, which will be parsed by agents. Information is totemistic, and we need to create a parent graph. The difficult part is to create this graph where the high-level information is smartly parsed. We need to highlight the meaning of each experience and create meaningful executive summaries, pointing out hard and soft skills. We embed the text, we create clusters around the embeddings, we summarize all the text contained in neighbors, we create links among all the entities, we categorize the node which comes from the links, and we make sure that the connection are preserved between clusters and node, between parent graph and subgraphs. As explained in another video, here we use org-rom, which allows us to create a database between the nodes. We use the capability of org files, which nicely connect with agents and help to preserve the content because we work with simple text files. And of course, an Emacs as a text editor is the best choice to work in this setup. We do have packages we can use: Llama, GPTel, MPC, Either Emacs, PyAgents, and OpenCode, which nicely integrate between the text editor and the agents, between Emacs and LLMs, and support our writing and help us in summarizing and labeling while we write. We can as well add an MCP server if we need to connect with further capabilities, especially regarding computer vision. Emacs will be able to see which services are connecting to this MCP server. And while the workflow has a lot of background processes, the interface will always be Emacs, and org-rom in the background will keep updating the internal database about the information we're currently writing. Inside the org files, we can monitor the current status of the system and display this information. The results of the notes we write will be used to create presentation like those slides or blog posts. We can use as well LLMs integrated within our org files to create animation and videos. We have a rich selection of footage we can add for videos like this one. We can now start our agentic interview. So let's write a list of different questions which usually are requested during an interview. The LLM will access the information we created, and we will prepare some prompts so the agent can answer. We will benchmark as well a bit the quality between different agents. In this way, we create a bot interview where we can expose all the answers provided by the LLM based on our knowledge base. The user can look at the different answers and then understand whether the LLM has judged the experience of the candidate in a proper way. We can use the same information to create some visualization we will use as an overview of the profile. And we can create a chatbot where users can directly ask you questions and have the objective answer from an LLM agent. Those are my thoughts around how to run an agentic interview in 2026. I'm really curious to hear yours and how would you prepare the material to allow such an interview.